When you concentrate your food intake into a single, focused eating window, a protocol commonly known as OMAD, 1 meal a day, you are not starving yourself. Instead, you are flipping a metabolic switch that most people in the modern world rarely activate. Imagine a warehouse where delivery trucks never stop arriving. The manager is shouting orders, boxes are piling up and blocking the exits, and the roof is leaking because no one has time to repair it. This is not merely a metaphor. It is exactly what is happening inside your body when you eat 3 meals a day, plus snacks. Now imagine what happens when the doors finally close and the trucks stop coming. For the first time in years, the cleanup crew gets to work. Today, we are taking a close and scientific look at the physiology of what happens when you stop eating. We will walk through a 23-hour timeline, hour by hour, so you can understand exactly why waiting for that one daily meal may be one of the most powerful decisions you can make for your health. Let the clock begin. The first hours, 0 to 4 hours. The clock starts the moment you put down your fork after your last meal. During the first 4 hours, your body is fully fueled. Your digestive system is actively processing nutrients. Proteins are being broken down into amino acids, while carbohydrates are converted into glucose. That glucose enters your bloodstream, and your pancreas responds by releasing insulin. Insulin is the central player at this stage. Think of it as a one-way valve. When insulin levels are elevated, energy flows into your cells. At the same time, energy cannot easily flow back out. As long as insulin is circulating at high levels, your fat cells remain locked storage units. During this phase, your body primarily relies on readily available energy. It uses the glucose circulating in your bloodstream, and if there is excess, which is extremely common in modern diets, insulin directs that extra glucose into your liver and muscles, where it is stored as a substance called glycogen. Think of glycogen as your wallet. Cash that is easy to access, but limited in supply. At this point, you generally feel normal. Your energy is stable, your digestive system is busy, and nothing particularly dramatic has happened yet. Hours 4 to 12. Now we enter the phase where most people give up. Around the 6th to 8th hour, blood glucose levels begin returning to their normal baseline. The massive influx of energy from your meal has faded. The warehouse is becoming quieter. Insulin, the busy warehouse manager, is gradually clocking out. At this stage, your brain starts sending signals that your easily accessible fuel is running low. One of the hormones involved in this process is ghrelin, often referred to as the hunger hormone. Ghrelin levels rise. Your stomach may growl. You may feel irritable, distracted, or preoccupied with food. This is the moment many people mistake for a dangerous form of hunger. They think, "I'm shaking. I need to eat immediately." But what you are experiencing is not necessarily an emergency. It is often your body adjusting to the absence of constant incoming fuel. Imagine a car that has always run on premium gasoline. Suddenly, it is being asked to switch to its backup power source. Naturally, there is a period of adjustment. If you continue fasting, an important transition begins. Your liver recognizes that no new food is arriving, so it opens its glycogen reserves and starts breaking down stored glycogen into glucose to maintain stable blood sugar levels. You are not losing muscle. You are not shutting down. You are simply using the energy reserves that your body wisely stored for times when food is unavailable. Reaching hour 12. By approximately the 12th hour, glycogen stores, the easy access cash in your metabolic wallet, are becoming significantly depleted. Now your body faces a choice. Either it slows down or it accesses a much larger energy reserve. Because the human body evolved to survive periods of food scarcity and to function for extended periods without eating, it chooses the second option. Insulin levels drop toward their baseline. This is the signal your physiology has been waiting for. As insulin moves out of the way, an enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase, HSL, becomes increasingly active. This enzyme acts like a master key. Its job is to unlock your fat cells and begin mobilizing stored energy for use throughout the body. For the first time in perhaps days or even weeks, your body begins efficiently drawing energy from its fat stores. You are no longer running on the bagel you ate yesterday. You are now running on you. Hours 14 to 16. The fuel shift between hours 14 and 16, the entire experience of fasting begins to change. For many people, hunger waves start to fade. Why? Because your fuel supply is no longer fluctuating. When you rely primarily on food for energy, your fuel levels often resemble a roller coaster, rising after meals and falling between them. But when your body begins relying on stored fat, energy availability becomes far more stable. Even a relatively lean person carries tens of thousands of calories stored in body fat. Think of it as a massive backup battery capable of powering the body for an extended period. As fat breakdown accelerates, the liver converts fatty acids into molecules called ketones. This transition is particularly important for the brain. Your brain cannot directly burn fat. Instead, it relies primarily on glucose or ketones for fuel. Remarkably, the brain adapts very well to ketones. Ketones are considered a highly efficient energy source. They are often described as a cleaner burning fuel than glucose. Glucose metabolism can generate a greater amount of metabolic byproducts associated with oxidative stress, whereas ketone metabolism may produce energy more efficiently with fewer byproducts. This helps explain why many people report a noticeable shift around the 16th hour. Brain fog begins to lift, mental clarity sharpens, focus becomes more intense. Instead of feeling sluggish, many describe a heightened sense of alertness and sustained energy. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes perfect sense. If a hungry hunter-gatherer became sleepy, unfocused, and slow whenever food was scarce, survival would have been unlikely. Instead, the human body evolved mechanisms that help increase alertness and motivation during periods without food. Hunger was not meant to make us helpless, it was designed to make us effective. Hours 16 to 18. Now we arrive at one of the most fascinating stages of the fasting cycle, and one of the primary reasons researchers have become so interested in prolonged fasting, autophagy. Remember the warehouse we talked about earlier, the one so overwhelmed with constant deliveries that nobody had time to clean or repair anything. By hour 18, the warehouse has been quiet for quite some time. The manager looks around and realizes there is a problem. The operation still requires raw materials, but no new deliveries are arriving. So the workers begin searching through the facility itself. They inspect broken shelves, rusted equipment, damaged pipes, and old materials that are no longer useful. Instead of letting these damaged components accumulate, they dismantle them and recycle the usable parts into new, functional structures. Something remarkably similar happens inside your body. Cells begin scanning for damaged or dysfunctional components. They identify worn-out mitochondria, the tiny energy-producing structures inside your cells that are no longer functioning efficiently. They locate misshapen or damaged proteins that, if allowed to accumulate over time, may contribute to age-related cellular dysfunction. They also target cellular debris and unwanted material that no longer serves a useful purpose. The cell then surrounds this material with a specialized membrane, breaks it down, and recycles many of its building blocks into fresh amino acids and other reusable components. This process is known as autophagy. Autophagy, which literally means self-eating, is one of the body's most sophisticated cellular housekeeping and recycling systems. Rather than being wasteful, it is an extraordinarily efficient mechanism that helps maintain cellular quality, remove damaged structures, and recycle valuable resources when external nutrients are temporarily unavailable. The term autophagy literally means self-eating. It is the body's internal recycling and quality control system. Many scientists consider it one of the most fascinating cellular maintenance mechanisms ever discovered. While it is not a literal fountain of youth, it represents a powerful process of cellular renewal and housekeeping. When food is constantly available, autophagy activity tends to be lower, but during extended periods without eating, the body increasingly shifts resources toward repair, recycling, and maintenance. In a sense, the cleanup crew finally gets the opportunity to do its job. This helps explain why fasting has attracted so much scientific interest. Researchers are investigating how autophagy may contribute to cellular health, healthy aging, and the removal of damaged cellular components. Your body is not simply resting, it is performing maintenance. Hours 20 to 22. At this point, skeptics often ask, but if my body is breaking things down for fuel, isn't it also destroying muscle? This is one of the most common concerns surrounding fasting. The reality is more nuanced. As fasting progresses, the body activates several mechanisms designed to preserve essential lean tissue while increasing access to stored energy. One of the key hormones involved is human growth hormone, HGH. Research has shown that growth hormone levels can rise substantially during fasting. The exact increase varies depending on the individual, fasting duration, and study conditions, but the trend is remarkably consistent. Fasting tends to stimulate growth hormone secretion. Growth hormone plays several important roles, including supporting tissue maintenance, promoting fat mobilization, and helping preserve lean body mass. Think of it as a protective signal. The body recognizes that food is temporarily unavailable and adjusts its priorities accordingly. Rather than immediately sacrificing valuable muscle tissue, it preferentially increases the use of stored fat as a fuel source whenever possible. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes sense. Muscle is expensive to build and maintain. For a hunter-gatherer, losing significant amounts of muscle during every short period without food would have been a survival disadvantage. Instead, the body evolved mechanisms that help conserve muscle while utilizing stored energy reserves. This combination, lower insulin levels, increased fat mobilization, ketone production, and elevated growth hormone, creates a unique metabolic environment that many researchers continue to study for its potential effects on body composition and metabolic health. Hour 23. You are now approaching your eating window. At this stage, your body has spent many hours operating without incoming calories. Insulin levels are low, fat metabolism is elevated, ketone production is active, your digestive system has had an extended period of rest. Many people also experience improved insulin sensitivity following a prolonged fast. Imagine your cells as a dry sponge. A sponge that is already saturated cannot absorb much more water. In a similar way, cells constantly exposed to incoming nutrients may become less responsive over time. A dry sponge, on the other hand, readily absorbs what it needs. After nearly 23 hours without eating, your body is highly prepared to receive nutrients. Your digestive tract has enjoyed a break from continuous digestion. Your metabolism has shifted towards stored energy utilization. Your cells have spent hours repairing, recycling, and adapting. Your brain has been fueled increasingly by ketones. You are not necessarily weak or depleted. In many cases, you are operating in a highly adaptive metabolic state. And now, the clock reaches hour 23. It is time to eat. This is where many people make a critical mistake. Because your body is particularly receptive to nutrients at this point, the quality of your meal matters. You should not view this meal as a reward for suffering through a fast. You should view it as a strategic opportunity to provide your body with the raw materials it needs for recovery, repair, and optimal function. Step 1. The foundation. Begin with high-quality protein sources such as beef, eggs, salmon, poultry, or other protein-rich foods. Your body requires amino acids to support tissue maintenance, recovery, and rebuilding processes. Protein should form the foundation of the meal. Step 2. Sustainable energy. Add healthy fat sources such as avocado, extra virgin olive oil, nuts, seeds, butter, or other minimally processed fats. These foods help provide satiety, support hormone production, and contribute to a slower, more stable metabolic response. Step 3. Micronutrients. Because you are eating only once per day, nutrient density becomes especially important. A generous serving of vegetables can help provide essential vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber. Nutrients such as potassium, magnesium, folate, and numerous phytonutrients play important roles in cellular function, hydration, muscle performance, and overall health. Vegetables help ensure that your single daily meal delivers not only calories, but also the micronutrients your body depends on to function at its best. Leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, and fermented foods such as sauerkraut are especially valuable. They provide essential minerals that help prevent muscle cramps, fatigue, and electrolyte imbalances. When you eat this way, focusing on nutrient-dense, highly satisfying foods, you'll discover something surprising. You become full much faster. Your hormones finally begin communicating the way they were designed to. Leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, and ghrelin, the hormone that signals hunger, start working together properly again. You stop eating because your body is nourished, not because you've stuffed yourself beyond comfort. The adaptation phase. Now, I want to be completely honest with you. If you go from eating 6 times a day to eating just one meal tomorrow, you're probably going to feel terrible. Your body needs time to build the metabolic machinery required to burn fat efficiently. Enzymes must be produced. Your liver must become more effective at generating ketones. These adaptations do not happen overnight. This process is known as metabolic flexibility. During the first week, you may experience headaches, fatigue, low energy, or a general feeling of discomfort. That doesn't necessarily mean the approach is harmful. In many cases, it simply means your body is transitioning away from constant glucose dependence. One common reason people feel poorly during this phase is the loss of electrolytes, and the solution can be surprisingly simple: salt. As insulin levels fall, your kidneys begin excreting more water and sodium. If you don't replace them, symptoms such as headaches, dizziness, and fatigue may occur. A small pinch of sea salt added to water during your fasting window can often make a dramatic difference. Most importantly, don't rush the process. Delay breakfast by 2 hours, then by 4 hours, then skip it entirely. Next, gradually push lunch later. Ease your body into the transition. Don't jump into the deep end on day one. It's also important to remember that fasting is a physiological stressor. For people already dealing with high stress levels, poor sleep, adrenal strain, or thyroid-related issues, a 23-hour fasting protocol may increase the production of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. For that reason, extended fasting is not appropriate for everyone. This approach is intended for healthy adults. Do not attempt it if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, have a history of eating disorders, or are taking medications for diabetes or blood pressure without first consulting a qualified healthcare professional. We live in a food environment that is fundamentally disconnected from our biology, an environment designed to make us fear hunger. But hunger is not an emergency. It is a signal, and like any signal, it can be understood, managed, and adapted to. Beyond weight loss and convenience, OMAD offers something many people haven't experienced in years: freedom. Freedom from constantly chasing the next meal. Freedom from being controlled by fluctuations in blood sugar. Freedom to return to an ancient human rhythm. Hunt, eat, recover. Repeat. You are not necessarily starving. You are allowing your body to access systems that modern lifestyles rarely permit it to use. You are giving your body an opportunity to repair, adapt, and function in the way it evolved to. If you decide to try it, let me know in the comments. Did you hit the wall around hour 12? Or did you experience that surge of clarity and energy around hour 16? I'll see you in the next video.